What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So with this video, I'm going to be taking y'all behind the scenes on a shoot that I did with my wife where we tested out the Viltrox 56mm 1.4. So Viltrox sent me this lens, asked if I could try it out. I tried it out for this video that you're seeing, this indoor home studio session, and I also did some portraits outside, which you won't be seeing in this video. So did a couple shoots with this lens. This is not going to be a full review, just going to be, letting y'all in on behind the scenes with this shoot, and also just telling you some things that I liked and I didn't like about this lens, and if it's even worth checking out. So just want to say shout out to Viltrox for sending me this lens. They sent me this lens, and I also recently did a video on the Viltrox 24mm for a Sony full frame. So if you want to check out that review, I'll link that in the card up top and also in the description. So this is going to be my honest opinion on this lens. But before I get into that, just want to talk a little bit about what you're seeing on the screen. So as you can see, we're doing this shoot in our home. So this is something that I do a lot on the channel. And if you're interested in knowing like how I set up, my home studio and things like that and all the equipment I use, I actually have a video about that. It's one of my most popular videos on my channel. So I'll link that in the description if you want to check that video out after watching this video. So I did a simple setup for this shoot. Y'all see I have I think it's the 42-inch Glow Easy Lock beauty dish, and I also have a reflector on the opposite side just to add in a little bit of fill light. And I forget where I get those backdrops from, but pretty good backdrop. It was hard to get the wrinkles out of this backdrop. So I had to do a lot of extra work in post, but it's all good. Oh, and I can't forget, man, shout out to the wife, man. Gotta shout out the wife if she's watching this. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But just want to shout her out, man. She's always helping me with this content, doing these last minute photo shoots, being my model, all that stuff. So just gotta shout her out and let her know I appreciate her. But anyways, let's talk about this lens a little bit. So this Viltrox 56mm 1.4, this is for Sony APS-C camera. So during this shoot, I'm usually using my Sony a7 III. That's my full frame camera. That's my main camera that I'm always using. But for this shoot, because this is a APS-C lens, I use my Sony a6400. So honestly, I don't really use this combo a lot for studio sessions. I use it. It's mainly like a B camera when I'm doing weddings, or I'll use it outside sometimes for outdoor photography, just if I'm just doing like some random shots or whatever. But pretty good combo. I love that camera. The Sony a6400 is a great camera. This combo was pretty cool. It was cool to just use this combo, try out something different than my full frame camera. So let's talk about the price of this lens. So this lens is I would say it's a fairly cheap lens, right? Lenses can be very expensive. I know to some people this may be expensive, but to me, for a lens, this is on the cheaper side. So this lens comes in at $279. So when I seen that for the first time, because I've gotten cheaper type lenses before, and from my experience, the quality just isn't there. And also the performance usually isn't there. When I compare these lenses to my more expensive lenses. So honestly, I wasn't expecting too much from this lens because of the price point. $279. I'm like, it's no way, it can produce, professional results. So that's what I was expecting. Now, I will tell you this. I was kind of shocked by the image quality of this lens. For $279, the image quality is great. The image quality, I would say, is on par with some of my expensive lenses, right? My Sony 85, just more expensive lenses that I have. So, man, I was shocked by the image quality. So don't think that with this lens, because of the price point, you can't get professional type of work. I feel like these shots that I got, they're on par with other studio shots that I've gotten with more expensive lenses. So really like the image quality that was coming out of this lens. So that was what I loved about the lens. Now, I want to tell you something that I really did not like about this lens, and I think honestly that this may be a deal breaker for some people. So something that I experienced with this lens, I experienced that during this shoot, and also when me and my wife were just doing a couple of outside shots. The focus, the autofocus with this lens struggled a lot. I'd say if I took about 10 shots, I probably have about 4 or 5 that was out of focus. So for me, that's a huge deal because I was having trouble. I was having issues with the focus. I'm a person that I love to use the autofocus. That's why I love the Sony system. The autofocus is really good. Now, some people use manual focus, and maybe you're okay with doing that. But I'm a autofocus junkie. I love the autofocus, right? And it just takes a lot of worry and just extra problems out of the shoot, right? I don't have to worry about the autofocus. I know the autofocus is good. But this lens really struggled. I had a lot of out of focus shots. So for me, being a professional photographer, I would not use this lens for professional work because I just want that peace of mind knowing that I don't have to worry about the autofocus, and I cannot trust this lens when it comes to the autofocus. Now, you can do a firmware update with this lens through USB. It's on the back of the lens, so you don't need a separate dock. I did not see a firmware update for this lens when I looked, because with some of these lenses, like one of my lenses that I had, the Samyang, the autofocus straight out of the box was terrible. Then I upgraded the firmware, and then the autofocus was great. So maybe Viltrox has some kind of firmware update coming to where it improves the autofocus, but for me, it was just not acceptable. I think it's a good like hobby lens if I'm not, if you're not somebody who's just doing professional type work. Like I said, the quality is there. It may be something that I use in the future for future just fun studio sessions that I'm doing, but for paid work, I probably will not go with this lens because I can't trust the autofocus of this lens. But if you do want to buy this lens or check it out, I have a link in the description. Also have a discount code for 10% off if you want to buy this lens. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every single week. I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.